we all have things that are personally, deeply meaningful to us. And if you feel that I have offended something that is deeply meaningful to you, it can feel like an attack, an assault on who you are and what you stand for. And the moment that I attack that part of you, whether elements of your gender, your race, your ethnicity, your family, the fact that you are Google, and I go, Google, whatever. Yeah, boom. And I will give you a real-life example that happened just yesterday. So I was at Microsoft yesterday in Seattle, and it's about a third of the way through the talk, and I accidentally called the people at Microsoft Google. And I was like a third of the way through. I said to Goo, and I went, no, you didn't. And I went, yes, I did. And half the group went, no, you didn't. And I went, yes, I did. This was an assault on the sacred. Now, some came up to me afterward and said, I didn't really care at all. I just felt empathic for you, faux pas. And I went, yeah. But for some in the group, this was an assault on the sacred. Your identity starts to get connected, whether it's here at Google or there at Microsoft. And the moment I say, oh, you're a great group here at Microsoft, you say, we're not Microsoft, we're Google. Vroom! That's an attack. So in other words, the sacred can be something religious, but it doesn't have to be. It can be anything that we hold deeply, personally meaningful. You spend 5 months putting together a major new product or a part of an algorithm, whatever it might be, and you dedicated your heart and your soul to this thing. Day in and day and night, you are here, you are sleeping on the little couches over there, you're eating the wonderful free food you have here, but you are doing this, you're investing your soul. And then 5 months later, your boss comes along and says, oh, so sorry to inform you, but we decided we're not going to move forward with that after all. That can feel like an assault on the sacred, and all of a sudden, even the most beautiful boss in the world, the most kind, generous boss, it can start to feel like the tribe's effect. It is me versus you. We're not on the same page. That's that. And you know what? Let's think about this in a real-life example. So part of the work I do is in working with hostage negotiators, working with crisis negotiators. And I thought we might think about an example based upon a real-life situation. I did not negotiate in the real-life situation. I learned about this situation through a training program with the New York Police Department hostage negotiation team, but I thought we'd think about this together. So the basic situation, first, how many of you have been to New York City? Imagine almost all of you. How many of you have been to the subway system in New York City? Okay, this situation happened there a number of years back. There was a gentleman, about 26 years old. He was clearly suffering from mental illness, schizophrenia, delusions of grandeur. He had a tendency toward violence. Most people who suffer from mental illness, even more extreme forms of mental illness, they're not violent. We see it in the media, but that's a fiction to some degree. It doesn't account for the real statistics of how much violence occurs, which is very minimal with those who are suffering from mental illness. Anyway, this gentleman's there. He's sort of wandering around the subway platform, just wandering around. And as he's wandering around, he sees a woman. Sees a woman about 20 years old carrying a baby in her arms. And he sees this woman. He runs up to the woman. He grabs the baby out of her arms. He pushes the woman into the train track, runs off into the janitor's closet, locks the door behind him. And about 5 minutes later, the New York Police Department's hostage negotiation team, they get there. And they hear behind the door, if this child is an angel, I love this child's a demon. You know what I need to do. If this child is an angel, I love this child's a demon. You know what I need to do. And bang, 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 we're banging on the door. Open up, open up, open up. And does our approach work? What do you think? Does our, yes or no? Yes or no? No. Come on, yes or no? No? Of course not. It completely fails to work. And why? What are we failing to do in this situation? We are absolutely failing to appreciate what this gentleman sees as sacred in this situation. We do not know what he considers as sacred, in fact. And the situation escalates. If this child is an angel, I love this child's a demon. You know what we have to do. If this child is an angel, love this child's a demon. You know. And what are you going to say now, hostage? What are you going to say? What are you going to say? I'm going to kill this child in 3 seconds if you don't say something. What are you going to say? And say it again? And say it louder so everybody can hear. This child is an angel. This child is an angel. We said those precise words on this other side of the door. The child is an angel. And did it work? What do you think? Yes or no? Yes. Of course. Not. Unfortunately, it does not work. Because all of a sudden, this gentleman on the other side of the door, he suddenly says, Angel, how do you know the child isn't? You said there were 3 people on the other side of the door. How many people are really on the other side of the door? And all of a sudden, we had now made precisely the opposite error that we had made but 3 minutes ago in this room, and undoubtedly hours in the real life situation. And it all has to do with this basic concept of appreciation. Because in a sense, when we're first banging on the door, open up, how much appreciation is going on then? Nada. Nothing. Zero. We are approaching this situation like interrogators. You tell me what I need to know. That approach doesn't work very well in interrogation, and it certainly doesn't work well in hostage negotiation. But 3 minutes later in this room right now, we are way on this other side of appreciation, in a sense, over-appreciating. Assuming we know more about what is going on in the mind of this hostage taker than he knows. And that is a dangerous place to be. Just to make this real, let's say I come home on a Friday night, and there my beautiful wife is at the door waiting for me, and say, hi, Mia, how you doing? And she says, I have had the most frustrating day of my life with your 3 boys, Now, if my response to my wife is, oh, honey, I know exactly how frustrated you are, I'm in trouble. In a sense, I am over-appreciating. I am assuming I know more about what is going on in her mind, her heart, than she knows. And you'll have to trust me, that is a dangerous place to be, So here we were stuck in this negotiation. Life in the real situation was on the line. What do you do? And the best advice I can give you is the simplest and most difficult advice in the world. 2 things. Listen and ask good, open-ended questions. Talk to us. What do you want? How can we help you? And once we started asking those questions, we started to learn. This gentleman was not crazy, at least from his perspective. He was trying to save the world. Save the world from the demons, bring in the good guys. And once we understood that, it completely changed our approach to the negotiation. Because now we could say, you know what? I'm NYP. I don't see the angels you see. I don't see the demons you see. But I hear you saying you're trying to save the world. And you know what? In our own small way here at NYPD, we're trying to save the world too. Why don't you open up that door and see if we can try and save this world together? And literally, 3 minutes later, that little door squeaks open. Out walks that gentleman with baby in arms. But it is a challenge, and a real challenge. How do you appreciate? And how do you appreciate when your values, your beliefs feel on the line? That the tendency, if I attack you, the tendency is you're going to defend. No, Shapiro, it's your fault, it's not mine. The most powerful tool you have at your disposal here at work, at home, any situation, is the power to appreciate that other side's perspective. The moment they feel truly understood, heard, and valued for their perspective, that's the moment that the non-negotiable starts to become more negotiable. Whether it's these big international conflicts, hostage situation, or that annoying colleague here at work who you just cannot get along with. Assault on the sacred.